Hey kids, it's me, Teacher A. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to determine if the given graph is a function or not. And then, from the given graph, we're going to get the domain and the range. Okay? Let's start. Okay, so kapag given ang graph, madali lang i-determine if it's a function or not. Okay, all you have to do is to recall the vertical line test. Okay, ano ba yung sinasabi ng vertical line test? Okay, if you're given a graph, okay, and then you draw vertical lines as many as you like, okay, if every vertical line intersects the given graph in at most one point, then the given graph is a graph of a function. Okay? So, ang ibig sabihin nun, mag-draw lang kayo ng mga vertical lines. Okay? Tapos, kung ang tatamaan niya dun sa given graph ay isa, okay, or wala, okay, or wala siyang tatamaan, okay, the given graph is definitely a graph of a function. Okay, let's try this number 1. Okay, so where is the given graph? Do you see? Ito siya. Okay, so we check if this graph is a graph of a function or not. Okay, so how do we do that? We make use of the vertical line test. Okay, so magdodraw lang tayo ng mga vertical lines and then we check kung isa lang ang tatamaan niya sa graph. Okay, kapag isa lang, okay, so the given graph is a graph of a function. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so mag-draw na tayo ng vertical lines. Okay, so kunyari ito. Okay, so you see, ilang point ang tinamaan niya sa graph. Okay, dito lang siya tumama. Okay, so this vertical line intersects the given graph at exactly 1 point. Okay, so let's have another one. Pili ulit kayo or draw ulit kayo ng isang vertical line. So, kunyari dito nyo gusto. Okay, you check. Ilan ang tinamaan niya doon sa graph? Ilang point? Diba? Dito lang siya tumama. So, at exactly 1 point. Okay? So, kahit saan kayo mag-draw ng vertical line dyan, palaging isa lang ang tatamaan ng vertical line na i-draw ninyo. Okay? Isang point lang ang tatamaan dun sa given graph. So, is it a graph of a function or not? Okay, definitely, this one is a graph of a function. Okay? So, yes. Okay, yes, it is a graph of a function. Okay, now, we get the domain. Okay, so ano nga ulit ang domain? This is the set of x values. Okay, now, graphically, if you're given a graph, this is how you find the domain. So, to get the domain, magpo-focus lang tayo dito sa horizontal line na ito. Okay, and we call this horizontal line as the x-axis. Okay? So, baka akala ninyo yung domain ay -2, 0, at saka +2 lamang. Kasi yun ang yung nakikita nyo dito. No, hindi ganon maghanap ng domain. Okay? Ang domain, this is the set of all x coordinates ng mga points na nakikita nyo doon sa graph. For example, itong point na to, di ba meron siyang x coordinate at saka y coordinate. Okay, di ba? So, itong x coordinate na ito, okay, nito, saan nyo makikita? Di ba dito? Here. Okay? Actually, lahat nung mga x coordinates nung mga points dito sa part na ito, okay? So, ang ibig sabihin ng arrowhead dito, tuloy-tuloy ito. Okay? Okay? So, madaming points dito. Okay? So, saan nyo makikita lahat ng x coordinates ng mga points na nandito? Okay? Do you agree? Na dito nyo siya makikita sa portion ng x-axis na ito. Okay? Dito. Okay? Okay. What about on this part? Dito naman sa portion ng graph dito sa baba. Okay? Saan nyo naman makikita yung mga x coordinates ng mga points dito? Do you agree na dito naman sa positive x-axis. Right? Okay? So, what do you notice? Lahat ng x-coordinates na nandun sa given graph is the set of all points on the x-axis. So, therefore, the domain is the set of all real numbers. Okay? So, you may want to write the domain is the set of all real numbers. Ito yung notation na ginagamit or symbol for the set of all real numbers. Okay, let me write here. Okay, this symbol is the set of all real numbers. All right? Okay, or you may want to use interval notation. So how do you write the set of all real numbers in terms of interval notation? Ganito. Okay? From negative infinity to positive infinity. Yeah? Okay. This time, hanapin naman natin ang range. Okay? So, erase lang natin ulit ito. Okay? So, for the range, what is the range again? Okay, this is the set of y values or y coordinates ng lahat ng points na nakikita ninyo doon sa given graph. Okay? So, for example, okay, ito yung point. Diba? Meron siyang x coordinate at saka y coordinate. Saan mo makikita yung y value? Okay? Dito. I almost forgot. If we're getting the range, we are going to focus on this vertical line here. Okay? This is what we call the y-axis. Okay? So, lahat ng y coordinates na nakikita nyo dun sa given graph. So, do you see? Lahat ng points na nakikita nyo dito sa part na ito, okay? Nasaan yung mga y values niya? Saan nyo makikita? Dito sa portion na ito. Right? Okay? Tuloy-tuloy yan kasi may arrowhead dito sa taas. Okay? Tapos, dito naman sa part na ito, lahat ng mga y coordinates dito, saan nyo makikita? Diba? Dito naman sa portion na ito. Right? Okay, so what do you notice? Ano yung range? Ano yung set of y values? Lahat na nandito. Okay? So the range is also the set of real numbers. Okay? In interval notation, we have negative infinity to positive infinity. So you see, madali lang maghanap ng domain and range if we're given a graph. Okay? So let's try more examples. Let's have this number 2. Okay, the first question is it a graph of a function or not? Okay, so tingnan natin. So madali lang, no? Mag-draw lang tayo ng vertical line, kahit isa lang. Okay? Anong makikita nyo? May dalawang points na tinamaan yung vertical line doon sa ating given graph. Ang given graph natin dyan is a circle. Okay? So, na-violate nyo na yung vertical line test. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, this graph is not a graph of a function. Okay? So, answer natin dito, no. Okay? It is not a graph of a function. Okay? Now, we move on to getting the domain and the range. Okay? Let's do that. So, for the domain, again, the x-coordinates of the points on the graph. So, if you check, so again, where is our x-axis? Ito yung x-axis natin, okay? Ayan. Okay? Tingnan nyo yung mga points simula dito, ayan. Yan. Tingnan nyo yung mga points na ito. Lahat ng yan, madaming points. Okay? Sa palagay ninyo, nasaan yung mga x-coordinates niya? Okay? Saan siya makikita sa x-axis? So, do you agree? Nandito lang silang lahat. Yeah? Andyan lang. Okay? Kasi kung tatanungin ko sa inyo, yung 3 ba? Ito, 3. Okay? Kasama ba siya sa domain? Definitely hindi. Okay? Kasi wala namang point doon sa given graph na merong x-coordinate na 3. Wala, oh. Tsaka tingnan nyo, walang graph sa part na ito. Wala. Okay? Wala. Okay? So, dito lang tayo nakafocus. Okay? Sa mga values ng x na ito. So, ano ba yung mga values ng x na nandito? Ito yung 0. Okay? Nandito yung 0. Ito yung 1, positive 1. Ito yung positive 2. Okay? Ito naman, negative 1. Tapos ito yung negative 2. So, do you see? Okay, the domain is the set of what? Values of x such that x is between negative 2 and 2, including negative 2 and positive 2. So, this is how you write it. Okay, so the domain is equal to the set of values of x such that x is in this interval. Okay? Negative 2 to positive 2. Okay? In interval notation, this can be written in this way. Square brackets. Okay? Ang sinisignify ng square bracket ay kasama yung negative 2. Tsaka ito, positive 2. Kasama yung endpoints. Now, baka itanong nyo, ma'am, paano yung nasa ilalim na graph? Okay? Kasi kapag chinek naman nyo yung mga nasa ilalim, ito, yung mga points dito, yung mga x-coordinate niyan, okay, ito lang din siya. Okay? Nandito lang din siya. Okay? So that's why the domain is from negative 2 to 2, including the endpoints. Okay? So what about the range? Okay? So sa y-axis naman tayo mag-focus. So where is the y-axis? Ito siya. Okay? So dyan naman tayo mag-focus. So lahat kaya ng values ng y ay kasama sa range. So tingnan ninyo tong graph na ito. Okay, di ba ito yung given graph? Tingnan nyo yung mga points dito. Okay? Sa palagay ninyo, nasaan yung mga y coordinates nito? Di ba? Ito yon. Nandyan lahat ng y coordinates ng mga points na yon. Okay? Kahit sa kabilang side, dito. Yung mga points dito, okay? Madaming points yan. Lahat ng y coordinates dito, ng mga points dito, ito lang din yun. Okay? So that's why, ito lang yung range natin. Okay? Nandyan lang. Okay? So ibig sabihin, ano ba to? If we label, ito yung 0, okay? Ito yung positive 1, ito yung positive 2. Okay? Ito naman, nandito ang negative 1, nandito ang negative 2. So yung range is the set of values of y from negative 2 to positive 2. Alright? So let's write here. The range is the set of values of y such that, okay, y is in this interval from negative 2 to 2. Okay? In interval notation, we have this. Alright? Okay, let's do more. Okay, so by this time, alam nyo na gumamit ng vertical line test. Okay, sige nga. Is this graph a graph of a function or not? Okay, so please draw vertical lines as many as you like, and you'll see this one is a graph of a function. Okay? Okay. Now, let's move on to getting the domain and the range. Okay? So, where is the x-axis? So, let me draw ito. Okay? This is the x-axis. Where is the y-axis? Ito. Okay? So, yun lang ang gagawin ninyo. Okay? So, for the domain, same. Set of x coordinates ng mga points na makikita ninyo doon sa graph. So, tingnan nyo lang. Okay? Ito yung graph ninyo. So, what is the domain here? Okay? If you check, the domain is the set of all real numbers. Okay? So, in interval notation, you have negative infinity to positive infinity. Okay? What about the range? Okay? So, tingnan ninyo yung graph. Okay? So, kunyari, itong portion na to, ito muna. From here, ayan. Ito yung mga points dito sa graph na ito. Okay? Sa palagay ninyo, nasaan yung mga y-coordinates ng mga points na yan? You see? Simula dito. Okay? Pataas. Ayan. Lahat ng y values dito, sila yung mga y-coordinates ng mga points dito sa portion na ito. Okay? What about this portion? Okay? Nasaan yung mga y values ng mga points na yan? Same. Okay? Simula dito, pataas. Seeing this, do you say that the range is also the set of all real numbers? Definitely, no. Okay? Kasi tingnan nyo yung negative 2. Okay? Ito oh. This one, negative 2. Wala na siya sa graph. Right? Okay, so what is the range? The range is the set of values of y such that y is greater than negative 1. Ayun no? From negative 1 pataas. Okay? So let's write that. The range is the set of values of y such that y is greater than or equal to negative 1. Okay? In interval notation, this is how you write it. Including negative 1, that's why I use the square bracket. Okay, up to positive infinity. All right? What about this one? Is it a graph of a function or not? Okay, use the vertical line test and you'll see this one is a graph of a function. Okay? What is the domain? Okay? So you check again. You check all the x coordinates of the points on the given graph. And you'll see the domain is the set of all real numbers. Okay? What about the range? Okay? The set of all real numbers din ba? No. Kasi kitang-kita naman ninyo, no? Ito yung 2, ito yung 3, ito yung 4, 5. Wala na, oh. Walang graph sa area na ito. Okay? Pati yung mga negative 2, ito yung negative 2, negative 3, you see? Wala na ring graph sa area na to. Okay? So actually, dito lang may graph. Dito sa negative 1, okay? Okay, pataas. Merong graph dito. Meron. Ayan, no? Okay? Ito yung mga yon. Yan yung mga y-coordinates. Check the y-coordinates here. Okay? Up to this point. Okay? Ito ay positive 1. Okay? So, yung range, ganito siya. The range is the set of values of y such that y is from negative 1 up to 1. Okay? In interval notation, ganito. Negative 1 to positive 1. Okay, what about this one? Okay, this is definitely a graph of a function. Okay, you draw vertical lines. Okay, and then make sure isa lang ang itatouch niya doon sa graph. Okay, what about the domain? Okay, so where is the graph? Ito siya. Ito. Yan. Ito. Ito. tapos may arrowheads. Okay? Ibig sabihin, tuloy-tuloy siya dito. Okay? Ito rin. Tuloy-tuloy siya dito sa side na to. Okay? What can you say about the domain? Okay? Again, it's the set of all real numbers. Okay? Lahat ng x-coordinates ng points na makikita niyo sa graph ay lahat nandito sa x-axis. Okay? Lahat nandyan. Okay? So, the domain is the set of all real numbers. Okay? What about the range? So, focus kayo doon sa y-axis. So, obviously, it's not the set of all real numbers. Yeah? Okay. So, which one? Here. You see? From here. Okay. So, this one is -1. Okay. From here going up to here. Okay. Dyan lang merong graph. Okay. And I think this one is +1. Okay. So, kapareho nung kanina. Range. Okay. Y such that, okay, y is from -1 to 1. Okay? So, kung gusto nyo isulat in interval notation, you may do it. Okay, number 6. Okay, do you see the given graph? Okay. Sige nga, is it a function or not? It is a graph of a function. Okay? So, yes. Okay, by the vertical line test. Okay. Now we get the domain and the range. Okay. Take note that point ito ha, hindi arrowheads. Okay? Kasi kapag arrowhead, tuloy-tuloy yan. Okay? Pero kapag endpoint na, wala na, hanggang dyan lang sila. Okay? So, let's check the domain. Okay? You see? Kita nyo, lahat ng mga x-coordinates ng mga points dito. Okay? Nasaan siya sa x-axis? Do you see? Ito siya. From here hanggang dito. Okay? Kita nyo? Okay. Next. Dito naman sa portion na to. Okay? Yung mga x-coordinates, yung mga x-values nung mga points dito. Okay? You see? Yan. Okay? Saang part ng x-axis natin sila makikita? Okay? Dito naman siya. Tignan nyo ha. Hanggang dito. Okay? And then finally, yung last portion ng graph natin, nakita nyo? Yung mga points dito, okay? Lahat ng x-coordinates na nakikita nyo dito, okay? Nandito naman siya sa part ng x-axis natin dito. Hanggang dito. Okay? Dito. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yan lang yung mga values ng x na kasama sa domain. Okay? So, tingnan natin. Okay? So, hindi ko lang masyadong makita dito. So ito yung 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? So, dito, andito yung -1. Ito yung -2, -3, -4. Okay, -4. Okay? So, kindly check your graph. Okay? Medyo malabo lang dito. Okay? So, by the way, ito ay pinadala lang ng isang grade 11 student. Okay? So, this one is a requested video. So, if you have a video request, just email me at MOMthematician@gmail.com. Alright? Okay, so let me write the domain here. So, the domain, okay? Interval notation ko na lang ilalagay. Alright? So, from -4 up to +7. Pero kung gusto nyo, set notation, ganito naman siya. Okay? Set of all values of x such that x is from -4 up to 7. Okay? Like that. That's the set notation. Alright? Okay, what about the range. Okay? Hindi rin siya set of all real numbers. Kasi tingnan nyo, oh, hanggang dito lang. Ayan. Hanggang dyan lang may value ng y. Okay? Sa taas naman, hanggang dito lang. Okay? Wala na. Wala nang graph dito sa taas. Wala na rin graph dito sa baba. Okay? So, kung tama ang pagkabasa ko, ito ay okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, this one is negative 9. Again, please check your graph. Okay? Tapos sa taas, what do we have? I think it's positive 9. Yeah? Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yeah. So it's from negative 9 to 9. So that's going to be our range, right? Okay. So the set of all y such that y is from negative 9 up to 9. All right? Or if you want to write the range in interval notation, ganito lang yun. Negative 9 up to positive 9. Ganun lang. Okay. Function or not? By the vertical line test, this one is a graph of a function. Okay? Dito may arrowheads ito. Alright? Okay. Now for the domain. Okay, so please check. The domain is the set of all real numbers. Alright? Okay. So dapat alam niyo na kung paano kumuha ng domain if you're given a graph. What about the range? Okay, so focus kayo sa y-axis. So nasa ulit ang y-axis? Ito. Okay, ito ang y-axis natin. Right? Okay, this is our y-axis. Okay? So, obviously, no, na hindi set of all real numbers ang ating range. Kasi tingnan nyo, oh, wala namang graph dito sa baba. Okay? Yung graph actually nag-start lang dito. Okay? So, from here, pataas. Doon lang merong graph. Alright? So, nandyan lang yung range. So, if you check, ito ay 0, dito 0, this is positive 1, ito ay positive 2. Okay? So, the range is from positive 2 to positive infinity. Okay? In set notation, we write the set of all values of y such that y is greater than or equal to positive 2. Right? Okay. In interval notation, you write in this way. Positive 2 up to positive infinity. Number 8. Okay, what can you say about the graph? Is it a graph of a function or not? Okay, by the vertical line test, o draw tayo ng vertical line dito. Okay, you see it? Okay, yan. Yan, 2 points yung tinamaan nitong isang vertical line na ito. So obviously, this one is not a graph of a function. Okay, so our answer here is no. Okay? So, what is the domain? Okay, nasan ba yung x-axis natin? Ito. This is the x-axis. Okay? Tapos ito, wala namang arrowhead. So, endpoint lang yan. So, how do we get the domain again? Okay? Kukunin lang natin yung mga x-coordinates nung mga points na nandito sa given graph. Okay? Eh, saan ba makikita yung mga x-coordinates ng mga yan? Dito. Galing dito. Ayan. Hanggang dyan. You see? Okay. So, what is the domain? From 0, ito yung 0. Okay? Ito yung 1. Ito yung 2. Okay? So, the domain is a set of values of x such that x is from 0 to 2. Alright? Okay, so let us write the domain. Okay? set of all x, okay, from 0 to 2. All right? In interval notation, you write like this. 0, 2. Okay? What about the range? So where is the y-axis? Here. Okay? So hahanapin nyo lang yung mga y-coordinates nung mga points na nandito. Okay? So yun lang yung pwedeng kasali sa range. So nakita nyo? From here, okay? Lahat ng to, ito mga y values na ito yung mga y coordinates ng mga points na nasa graph. So you see, from -2 to +2. Okay? So this is the range. Okay? So interval notation na lang ang gagamitin ko. So from -2 to +2. Okay? Second to the last graph. Okay? So may arrowhead ito at saka ito. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yan. Ito rin, tuloy-tuloy lang. Okay? So, what can you say about our function or the graph? Is it a graph of a function or not? Okay? You see? It's a graph of a function. Okay? What about the domain? Okay? You inspect closely and you'll see the domain is simply the set of all real numbers. What about the range? Okay, it is also the set of all real numbers. Okay, and then finally, we have number 10. Okay, so obviously, the graph is not a graph of a function. Yeah, by the vertical line test. What about the domain? So where is the x-axis? All right, here. Okay. So do you see the graph? You check all the x coordinates of the points on the graph. So paulit-ulit lang. Okay? So nakita nyo, from this point lamang, so I think this one is negative. Okay, this is 0. Ito yung 0. Ayan. Ito ang -1. Okay? Ito ang -2. Okay, so from -2 up to +infinity. Okay, dyan lang merong graph. Okay, so the domain is, interval notation na lang ulit ang gagamitin ko. Okay, so from -2 to +infinity. Okay, or pwede rin ganito, set notation. Set of all values of x such that x is greater than or equal to -2. Alright? Okay, what about the range? Okay, so ang range, this is the set of all real numbers. Okay? Kasi ito, may arrow kasi ito, may arrowhead. So, pataas lang to ng pataas. So, ibig sabihin, hindi lang magsastop sa +2. Ayan, may mga values pa rin dito. Pati rin dito sa baba, hindi lang sa -2. Okay? Pati yung mga nandito, meron din. Okay, of course, dito meron ding y values. So, that's why the range is the set of all real numbers. Okay? So, I think that's it. I hope you learned something from this video. Please don't forget to like this video, share this video to your friends, and please subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Okay? See you on my next video.